His Royal Highness, the King, the prisoner of Digital Land. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, all my royal peasants. It is a blessing to be seeing you today. It is I, the king of all Digital Land. I, the purveyor of knowledge, the bringer of information. I be coming to you today to decree that this lesson be in session. Peasant, be teaching with you now. Yes, me lord. Yes, me lord. Today we should be talking about medieval Europe. Yeah. With a focus on Charlemagne. All right, so today we're going to be talking about medieval Europe. So let's get going with this. Europe is a continent. You see here in this map, this is the continent of Europe. Uh, of the Mediterranean and above, catches up, kind of goes along what today would be like around Ukraine. You get, England, and well, I got a bigger map. You'll be able to see a little more here in a minute. It's a large peninsula made up of many smaller peninsulas, and I'll point that out a little more in here in a minute. You have rivers like the Rhine, the Danube, the Vistula, the Volga, the Seine, the Po. You have various seas, the English Channel, uh, the North Baltic, the Mediterranean, the Black, the Caspian. You have the Carpathian Mountains, the Alps, the Pyrenees. And all these geographical formations have divided up Europe, which led to the development of all these independent kingdoms. Kind of like in Greece, how the mountains and the islands and so forth led to the development of all the different Greek city-states. Well, during the medieval times and throughout history of Europe, these kingdoms were divided, and these countries a lot of times were divided by these various geographical formations. Now you can see this is more of a today kind of picture of Europe. Now this actually goes a little further over, but kind of like here's your European border. Now down here be your Mediterranean, and you can see all these different peninsulas, like Spain and France. Here is a peninsula. You get the up here Norway, Sweden. It's kind of a peninsula. You even have a little peninsula here with Denmark, and you have Italy and Greece. So it's one big peninsula because there's water on three sides, made up of a lot of little ones. And you kind of see where the countries are today. This is how it was way back. Okay, uh, you have Italy, you have Iberia, which later becomes Spain and Portugal. You have France, which during the Romans it was Gaul. A lot of this was Gaul. Um, Britannia, which is becoming Britain, which then you have the Scandinavian. You have the Holy Roman Empire, the Balkans, the Byzantium, the Byzantine Empire, Eastern Europe. So this gives you an idea if we mention a specific country or like the Holy Roman Empire, you have an idea of where it lies. All right, after the fall of Rome, so Western Roman Empire loses its power in 476 AD. The Visigoths control Spain, the Ostrogoths control Italy, and the Ostrogoths kept a lot of the Roman ways there in Italy. The Angles control Germany, the Saxons control Denmark. The Angles and the Saxons both invade Britain, becoming the Anglo-Saxon. So if you hear a lot of people refer to somebody as an Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Saxon background, that's where it comes from right there, is that the Angles and the Saxons invaded Britain and mixed and became that breed. The Celtics fled Britain north into what is today Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. And the Franks controlled Gaul, which becomes France, and became Catholic. Charles Martel. Um, and it always reminds me of an old WWE, or actually back when it was WWF wrestler. Uh, but anyway, it was he was a historical figure. Various kingdoms existed in the Franks territory, and mainly ran by nobles. And the most important of these was the mayor of the palace. And Charles Martel was in this position, mayor of the palace, and he wanted to unite all of the Frankish nobles. You know, he didn't want, because during medieval times everybody is spread up, and we'll talk more about how this feudalism system works and how everything's more spread up a little later under another video. But he wanted to unite everybody and bring this Franks power together and unite them. Um, Martel also was supportive of the Catholic Church. So in return, the Pope gave him, who was the head of the Catholic Church, gave him his support. In 711, the Muslims conquered Spain. And remember when we talked about under the Islamic Empire how they came through Africa, North Africa, and began going up into Spain. And they began invading France. Troubles that we mentioned back under the Islam uh, began in the Islamic Empire, and in 732, Charles Martel, leading the Franks, defeated the Muslims at the Battle of Tours. And you can see it's right here, uh, and you can kind of see how the battle goes. And so, but they're victorious. Uh, this is the area during Charles Martel's time that was under this Frankish rule. Pippin the Younger. October 22nd, 741, Charles Martel died. And his son Pippin the Younger takes over. And we're talking about this Pippin, not this Pippin. Okay? With the support of the Pope, he becomes the king of the Franks. So Charles Martel's dream kind of comes true with his son Pippin the Younger. The Lombards, they were a tribal people who were forced out of their homes by the Turks and relocated in northern Italy in the late 500s. The Lombards were threatening the Pope. So the Pope helped support him to become king, so Pippin brings his army and defeats the Lombards. And he gives the Pope the land that was won, and this becomes the Papal Estates, what's known as the Papal States, referring to the Pope's states. Charles, son of Pippin. On September 24th, 1768, Pippin, king of the Franks, dies. His son becomes king after the death of the brother Charlemagne. The Lombards attack again. Charles is then asked by the Pope for support. He goes and defeats them, and then he becomes king of the Lombards as well. Charles then fights the Saxons in East Germany. He defeats them and orders them to convert to Christianity and to become one with the Franks. So he tries to unite all of this. So he's uniting the Franks, the Lombards, and the Saxons in Germany. And then he invades Spain. Well, in 800 AD, Charles had an empire covering Western and Central Europe. And he received the title of Charlemagne, which means Charles the Great. And on December 25th, 800, and if you don't know what December 25th is, that is Christmas Day, the Pope declares Charlemagne the new Roman Emperor, because he built this vast empire, and he calls him the new Roman Emperor. And this causes a problem, though, because who has the power? Was Charlemagne the new Roman Emperor because he had defeated all these different people, or was he the new Roman Emperor because the Pope said so? So this became a power struggle between the Pope and Charlemagne. And Charlemagne was not all too happy that the Pope declared him the new Roman Emperor, because he's like, hey, I created this empire all on my own without your help. And Charlemagne did a lot of good things. He set up courts ran by nobles, and they called them the nobles counts. he pushed education. He didn't want his populace being illiterate, so he pushed for education. Well, in January 28th, 1814, he dies. And with the death of Charlemagne, the empire he put together quickly falls. The Muslims pick away, the Vikings are picking away, and the Magyars are picking away. And this Frankish empire that he had quickly falls apart. All right, so until next time, deuces.